What up? We're here at the Mad Monster Party in Concord, North Carolina. Just got out of the Texas Chainsaw the Game panel with Matt, the lead community developer, and Ronnie Hobbs, the creative director, as well as Kane Hodder, who's doing the motion capture for the Leatherface character. These are the guys that brought us Friday the 13th, the survival game. So a lot of the discussion is comparing Friday and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One of the first gameplay mechanics that we discussed was the difference between the survival mode in Friday and the 3v4 mechanics in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You won't be able to kill the characters, like you won't be able to kill Leatherface, but also he's not going to be superhuman. He's not going to have these evolving abilities that progress throughout the gameplay like Friday had. They didn't really get into the specifics of the abilities, but they did discuss that obviously there's going to be teamwork required, right, for a 3v4. So even the Sawyer family is going to have different strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to have to work together to win the match. The only thing they really specifically discussed was obviously Leatherface is going to be like the stronger member of the family, and he's going to have special abilities with his chainsaw. So aside from Kane Hodder, they did mention three other actors that would be doing motion capture. The first one was Scout Taylor-Compton, who portrayed Laurie Strode in the 2007-2009 Halloween remakes. One of the other names was Kristina Klebe from the Rob Zombie Halloween, and the last name was Sean Wayland, I believe. They also discussed some of the maps that will be available at launch. Obviously, the house is going to be one of them. The gas station is going to be another map. And they said there will be at least one more map at launch. Didn't really give any hints. Maybe the cemetery, maybe the slaughterhouse. They also mentioned that they're only licensed for the 1974 film. They're working to get licenses for some of the other films, but right now everything is going to be set in that time period, actually 5 to 6 months before the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, talking about some of the victim side of the gameplay, they alluded to that events would have already unfolded when the gameplay begins. So, if you spawn in as a victim, you're going to come in bruised, battered, beat up, and just trying to survive and escape. So it sounds like you're going to come into the game with those handicaps. They did announce that the whole panel was recorded, so hopefully the official statements will all be released online here sometime soon. Kane Hodder did have an affectionate speech about his involvement with the project and his relationship with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Obviously, he played the stunt double in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 behind R.A. Millenhoff, but also he mentioned that his first convention appearance was with Gunnar Hansen, and that he always had a good relationship with Gunnar Hansen. So that was something that was kind of special for him. So they did open up the floor to Q&A at the end. I asked a question about the difficulty of the game. If you remember Friday at launch, it was incredibly difficult. Personally, I appreciated that. Playing games in the 80s, you almost never won. So it kind of had a little extra layer of nostalgia for me personally. And everybody I played with seemed to enjoy the difficulty of the game as well. So I made a statement, wasn't really a question, that if they're going to make the game that difficult, don't cave to the folks who are playing the game because it's trending for a month or two. The fans of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, fans of the gameplay style, are going to appreciate the game longer in its more difficult state. Specifically in Friday, when you were able to attack other counselors, I think added another layer of just mayhem to the game. You never knew when a counselor was going to crack under pressure, or if you just imagine you're there with these other counselors, maybe you don't know some of them, they may just take advantage of the situation and knock you down to the ground so they can escape. Or a lot of people are out for self perseverance. They're going to get the keys to the car and they're going to escape themselves. They're not necessarily going to wait for you and your group to file into their 4-person sedan so they can, you can all leave together because they may die. So, their incentive is to just flee themselves. So you may want to attack that person. So I thought those gameplay decisions were really smart, and they added a lot more flavor to the PvP aspect of the game. Kind of got a political answer from Ronnie, who was like, we got to cater to all of the audience, and some people were abusing the system and running people over with cars. And my response to that was, well, you should team up with people who want to play your type of game. So, if you get screwed over one match, maybe it encourages you to reach out and, grow in the community to play with other like-minded players. So I made my opinion heard, at least for the fans who like the hardcore game style. So as part of the panel, they're also giving away or raffling the chainsaw that was used by Kane in the motion capture, was used for some of the audio effects in the game. They're also giving away posters to everybody in attendance. So we got one of these sweet posters here. And of course, they did not announce a release date. It sounded like it was probably roughly still a year off, but they're not going to commit to anything at the panel. So that was pretty much it.